200 years, Pax Britannia saw the Crown hold the expansive Commonwealth, the wealthy Sultanate, and the isolationist Empire at bay. Between these four mighty blocks were consolidated the lives of almost 1 billion souls and the destiny of the world. The succession of the 13 American colonies and the subsequent rise of the Imperium and the alliance at the heart of Europe proved the Crown was no longer the unassailable power of the age. By the time the technologies of the emergent Covenant of the Enlightened began to proliferate the battlefields of the globe, Pax Britannia was over. The distinction between mercenaries and official Crown soldiers became increasingly ambiguous during that great upheaval. As the Crown's authority diminished, it grew more reliant on ambitious military leaders to achieve its goals. This was most evident in the East India Trading Company's growing influence in the Crown's foreign affairs. Initially, during the 17th century, the EITC's focus was on establishing trade in India. Over time, the EITC steadily expanded its territories on behalf of the Crown, effectively incorporating most of the Indian subcontinent into the Raj through local rulers controlled by the threat of force. By the early 19th century, the East India Trading Company boasted a larger private army than the Crown's own land forces. It had become de facto representative of British interests globally. Acting in this capacity, the EITC amassed enormous wealth for its officers and board members. The Crown often deploys EITC regiments alongside their own forces, though at a notable cost to the Treasury. This distinction between the EITC and Royal Forces goes unnoticed for most of the world, thanks to identical training standards and equipment. The EITC rifle regiments are virtually indistinguishable from their Crown counterparts, save for the company emblem worn on their tunic in place of Her Majesty's Royal cipher. While this arrangement persists throughout the current century, the declining power and influence of the Crown led the former Prime Minister William Gladstone to seriously consider the legislation to bring the EITC's wealth and power under Parliament's direct control. There's growing concern within Her Majesty's government this situation has gone unchecked for far too long, and that should Prime Minister Disraeli now attempt to do so, it may cause a dreadful split that would threaten the integrity of Her Majesty's dominions entirely. For now, the Crown must rely on a combination of its own forces, EITC regiments, and other fighting forces raised from elsewhere in the dominions to maintain Her Majesty's grip on her realm.